Good morning, class 8. Today I am going to start with the circulatory system in man. This chapter we had already started. Today I am going to continue with the second part of this chapter, starting with blood vessels. So before starting into with blood vessel, let me tell you what are these blood vessels actually are. Blood vessels are the tube-like structures of various diameter. Why they are of various diameter? Because when I'm talking about tube-like structure means a cylindrical structure. So when cylindrical in nature, that means what the upper portion, the lower portion will be in circular in manner. So for that we are telling that they are going to have diameter, which carry blood from one place to other place. So therefore that is what the function of blood vessel is, to carry blood from one part of the body to the other part. Now generally there are three types of blood vessels: artery, capillary and vein. With that you have venules also, with arterioles also, and another one is sinusoids. Okay, so they are basically, actually if you look at them, then it's a 5 type of blood vessel. Okay. Now let's first enter into artery. So let me tell you what are these arteries. These are the blood vessel which is actually carrying the blood from the heart to the other part of the body. So it's taking the blood from the heart and then it's transferring the blood to other parts of the body. Arteries have thicker, muscular and elastic, more muscular and more elastic walls than vein, in order to withstand and maintain the arterial blood pressure. Arterial blood pressure means the pressure exerted by the blood vessels. To be more specific, on the arteries, that is called arterial blood pressure, generated by the pumping action of the heart. Yes, the heart has to pump all the time, so therefore the pumping of action of the heart is actually helping you to give rise to this arterial blood pressure. See, I have already given you the features. You can see one video also where different GIFs are there. Means the GIF format I have given you in this video. What are the features? Carries oxygenated blood except pulmonary artery. Leaving pulmonary artery, all other arteries are going to carry oxygenated blood. Valve is absent. Wall is thick and muscular. Lumen is smaller. Yes, lumen means the surface area. Not collapsible. Yes, since it's so muscular and so thicker that it's not easily collapsible. That means it doesn't get collapsed. Blood flows fast. Yes, it flows fast. Deeply seated in the body. Yes, it's been actually properly seated in the body. Now, aorta originates from the left ventricle of the heart and it gives several thick arteries. Then each artery, obviously aorta, it's originating from the left ventricle, and this aorta gives branches into several arteries. Now each artery is divided into smaller and narrow arterioles. So arteries are again getting divided into arterioles. So what is happening? Aorta originating from left ventricle giving rise to arteries. Arteries again dividing and giving rise to arterioles. Arterioles then again divide and subdivide, giving rise to narrow and thin branches, which you can term them as capillaries. All these parts of the blood vessel except pulmonary artery carries more oxygenated blood into different parts of the body to supply oxygen and nutrition to tissue cells. So all the arteries carries oxygenated, but only pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood. See, there is a picture also. These image form where just to show you what is happening in heart, which is also termed as stable angina. It's a myocardial. It's a myocardial means it's a heart. It's a process which goes in heart. Myocardium. Now let me tell you what are veins. This is the second blood vessel which is coming after the arteries. So veins are the Thin-walled, comparatively thin-walled blood vessel which carry less oxygenated, that means deoxygenated blood or venous blood. The other term for deoxygenated blood is called venous blood, from different parts of the body to the heart. So artery was taking blood from the heart to other part of the body, and this vein is taking the blood from different parts of the body to the heart. Pulmonary vein which carries oxygenated blood, this is one exception. In that case, in artery case, it was pulmonary artery which carried deoxygenated blood, but in case of vein, pulmonary vein is only the one vein which carries oxygenated blood. So take blood towards the heart, carries deoxygenated blood, valve present, wall is thin, muscular and non-elastic, lumen is bigger, that means surface area. I have also given an image, you please go through those images. Are collapsible since it's thin and it's not so muscular. Contain blood under low pressure, yes, since it's not so developed, so the pressure will be low. Blood flows slowly, they are superficial in body, yes, not deeply seated. Capillaries are reunited and form venules. So capillaries reunites to form venule, and venule again reunites to form vein. So I have given the picture also of a vein, then a vein which are being found, the varicose vein. So please go through those images. Now capillaries. This is what a GIF format to show you what are these capillaries all about. So network. The tiny narrow blood vessels present in the form by branching and sub-branching parts of the arterioles. So these are also tiny vessels, but only it's been present in branching and sub-branching form. See, by the network only you can understand it's present in branching and sub-branching form of the arteriole and present in the tissue spaces. Yes, it's branching and sub-branching pattern formed by the arteriole, but most importantly it's present within the tissue spaces, that is called capillaries. Capillaries have very thin wall through which exchange of water, respiratory gas and dissolved solute can take place easily between the blood and the surrounding tissue. Okay. Sinusoids. Now sinusoids are also a type of extremely small vessels located within the bone marrow, spleen and liver. So sinusoids only can get in liver, spleen and bone marrow. These are specialized cells which are present only in these specific locations. Okay, now we are going to start with circulation of blood. The first type of circulation which we are going to focus on is systemic circulation. Now let me see what happens in systemic circulation. See, at the last point I have given a schematic format. From heart, arteries, from arteries it's body capillaries, from body capillaries it goes into vein, and from vein it goes into directly into heart. In which portion of heart? Your left ventricle. So what is happening? The left ventricle pumps the blood into the aorta. So first action is pumping of blood into the aorta. So when aorta is pumped, when getting the blood, what will the aorta do? Which distribute bloods around the entire body. They are going to distribute the blood into entire body except lungs and your heart, because from heart only they are getting, so why to distribute the blood back into the heart? So leaving lungs and heart, they are going to distribute the blood to each and every portions of the body, but by taking help from your arteries and arterioles up to the capillaries. Now blood flows back into the heart from capillaries. So after distributing, again the blood will flow back into the heart through your capillaries by taking help through tiny venules, because vein is going to collect the blood from all portion and they are going to take towards the heart, and arteries are going to take blood away from the heart. Remember this, arteries takes blood away from the heart, so artery is taking the blood away from the heart, but sometimes to some extent capillaries are also helping them, but then the blood also needs to be carried to the heart. So who is helping them? The veins and the venules. So blood flows back into the heart from capillaries to tiny venules into smaller veins and finally into two cable veins ending in the right auricle. So ultimately they are entering into your venal cave, which is ending in your right auricle. This normal type of circulation is only being termed as systemic circulation. So now you understand. So from heart, arteries are collecting the blood, sending the blood to different portions of the body. Ultimately, it's going to the capillaries. From the capillaries, venues are coming into action. They are collecting the blood and they are taking it to the heart. Which portion of your heart? Left ventricle. Okay. Now, next kind of circulation, the next type of circulation, rather I should say, is your pulmonary circulation. So, also you have also given a schematic representation. See, heart, pulmonary artery, then comes your lung, then comes your pulmonary vein, and then comes your heart. So first let me tell you what is actually happening. So when I am talking about pulmonary artery, I always tell you that pulmonary artery is that artery which is carrying deoxygenated blood, and pulmonary vein is such a vein which is carrying oxygenated blood. So when I am talking that pulmonary artery is there, that means what? Deoxygenated blood is going to be carried. So deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle, deoxygenated blood collected from the right ventricle is carried to the lungs. They are going to be reached to the lung. Obviously deoxygenated blood is there in the right ventricle, so they will collect it and they will take it to the lungs. So once it is taken to the lungs through your pulmonary artery, when they are reaching to the lung, what will happen in the lung? The lung deoxygenated blood will convert it into oxygenated blood. So from the lung again the oxygenated blood returns to the left auricle. So what is happening? Understand properly. From right ventricle, the deoxygenated blood is carried to the lung through pulmonary artery. When the blood is reaching to the lung, it is getting from deoxygenated is changing into oxygenated, and finally it returns to your heart by your pulmonary vein, the vein which is responsible for carrying oxygenated blood. This type of circulation is called pulmonary circulation because first pulmonary artery is involved, who is taking deoxygenated blood, and next pulmonary vein is involved, which is helping you to transfer this oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. Okay, so now you can understand what I was trying to tell you. From heart, pulmonary artery is taking the blood, deoxygenated blood, taking it to the lungs. From lungs, the oxygenated blood, because deoxygenated is getting converted into oxygenated in lungs. So from the lungs, pulmonary vein is taking the oxygenated blood to the heart. That's all. Okay. Now comes to coronary circulation. I have given you a little more in details, but you don't need to know so much in details. So what is happening in coronary circulation? In coronary circulation, blood is leaving the left ventricle through your coronary artery and return back to the right auricle. So it's nothing but it's just that blood is leaving the left ventricle and entering to right auricle via there should be a passage through which they can enter. That is, the passage will be coronary vein after supplying blood to the heart. Okay, so that is what coronary circulation all about. Now comes your portal circulation. Portal circulation has capillaries at both ends. From the picture also you can see they are having capillaries at both ends. Originates from the capillary of the intestine. To be more specific, they originate from the capillary. Those are being found in the intestine. Draws absorbed food. Since they are found in intestine, they have no other option to carry them to the liver, where the vein break into capillaries again. So they are drawing the absorbed food, then they are carrying them to the liver, the new absorbed food, and then they get broken down into capillaries again. See, intestine, hepatic portal vein, and then they are entering into liver. Okay, this is your portal circulation. Now this is a picture of a heart to show how the process of circulation is going on. Now I am going to tell you, just follow the arrows. Deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body except lung and heart enters the right auricle through vena cava. See, they are entering your heart through the vena cava, the superior and the inferior vena cava, which you can see in the picture. From superior vena cava and from inferior vena cava, generally they are entering into your right auricle. Okay, so because obviously the first one is right auricle, so from superior inferior the blood is entering into right auricle. Then, okay, this was the first passage where your blood is entering into the right auricle. Now, blood from heart also enters the right auricle through coronary sinus. Yes, from the heart also it's going to enter through the coronary. Blood from the heart also enters the right auricle through the coronary sinus. Okay. Now, oxygenated blood, you can see the lung entry. The oxygenated blood from the lungs, obviously they are going to enter through the vein, which is known as your pulmonary vein. So, three types of entries are there. Deoxygenated blood is coming from all parts of the body. Deoxygenated blood directly cannot enter into the lungs. So, deoxygenated blood is coming from all parts of the body, and except lungs and heart enters the right auricle through the vena cava. So, deoxygenated blood collection is taking place from your vena cava through those two vena cava, superior and inferior, and then they are entering into right auricle. Okay, this was the first entry. Second entry, blood from heart also enters the right auricle through your coronary sinus. Second entry. And third one is oxygenated blood from the lungs enter your heart through coronary sinus. To be more specific, I'll tell you it's in the left auricle. Oxygenated blood from the lungs enter into the left auricle through the pulmonary veins. So now both the auricles are having the blood, so the two auricles expand while receiving the blood through the vein. So now they are expanding. Two auricles expand while receiving the blood through the vein. The two auricles then contract simultaneously, and the blood from auricle is forced into the corresponding ventricle. Yes, so first they are going to expand, then they are going to vigorously contract, and after forceful vigorous contraction they are going to go into the next step, that is they are going to push the blood from the auricle into the corresponding ventricle. At the same time the ventricle also expand, same time they are expanding. Okay, receive the blood from the auricle. So when the blood is entering from auricle to ventricle, first also they will expand, then they are going to contract as to receive the blood from the auricle. So this expansion stage of heart is called diastole, and the two ventricles then contract simultaneously, driving the blood through your pulmonary artery and aorta respectively. This contraction of the heart is called systole. So basically two phases. One is your expansion stage, which is called your diastole, and one is your contraction stage, where performing of activity is more and more proper and random. That is called your systole. Okay, so these are your phase of contraction of heart, systole and diastole. Okay, and this systole and diastole contraction relaxation of heart occurs in cyclic way, and that cyclic way is termed to be known to be your cardiac cycle, which takes only 0.8 seconds to complete. Okay, now all the arrows are given in the picture. See, red stands for oxygen rich blood and blue stands for oxygen poor blood. Okay, so you have to just find the arrow and you have to draw the diagrams in this manner. Okay, now what I have told you, those things only have written in points so that you can get them proper, you have a proper idea, and it's the idea has been absolutely clear. Okay, so just go through these points, see which each and everything is clear or not. It's the same thing. Entry of blood, three types of entry will be done in auricle. First one will be deoxygenated blood, second one will be blood from the heart which enters in your right auricle through your sinus, coronary sinus, and the third entry will be oxygenated blood from the lungs into your left auricle. First two was right auricle and third one will be in your left auricle. So when the auricle receive blood, first they are going to expand and then they are going to vigorously contract. Why vigorously contract? Because they are going to send that blood into the next step, that is into your ventricles. So after the auricles contract and simultaneously they are contracting, the blood from the auricle is forced into corresponding ventricle. At the same time, ventricle when receiving the blood, they will also expand, they will also contract. Expansion stage known as diastole, contraction phase known as systole, and therefore the two ventricles then contract simultaneously. When the ventricles are contracting simultaneously, they are driving the blood through the pulmonary artery and aorta respectively. So the contraction of the heart, as I told you, systole, and the relaxation of the heart or expansion of the heart is known as diastole. So this contraction and relaxation takes place in a cyclical manner known as cardiac cycle, which only takes only 0.8 seconds to complete. Okay, so just go through the points and see each and everything is clear or not. So when we are studying the circulatory system, obviously it's meant to have certain functions. What are those functions? The most important function of the circulatory system is transporting. Yes, most important is to transport oxygen throughout the body. Other vital functions are like sustaining the organ system to make the organ more and more sustainable. Transport not only oxygen but blood, nutrients, carbon, hormone, everything. Protects the cell from pathogens. Development helps you to develop immunity. Act as an interface for cell to cell interaction. Yes, actually the circulatory system is only helping you to helping you in communication of different cells from different systems. The substance present in the blood helps to repair the damaged tissue. Yes, whatever the substance which are present in blood, the repairing substances helps you to repair the damaged tissue. Okay, so with that we have come to an end of this chapter. So based on this today's lesson, I have given you some work assignment. I have given you some questions to solve. Please make sure that you solve them in life science worksheet copy. I am repeating the question for you. Name the artery which carries deoxygenated blood for 1 mark. Name the vein which carries oxygenated blood, that is also for 1 mark. Give any 5 difference between artery and vein for 5 marks. Define blood vessel, that is for 2 marks. What is systemic circulation for 2 marks? What are sinusoids, that is also for 2 marks. Give any 2 importance or function of circulatory system, that is also for 2 marks. So the same thing, if you have any doubts or queries, please mail me at ankita.sma@outlook.com. If you are not able to understand any portion or course of circulation, please rewind the video to listen what I am telling you. In case if you are still not clear and if you want that I demonstrate the process of circulation in form of a lively class, like using the blackboard, then also you can mail me in this given email ID, just to know that whether you have understood or not, or if you require any more extra classes to understand the process of circulation. But before that, please go through the video, and even you need to send your regular assignments in this given mail ID only. So thank you.